Hey everyone, Shaun Stevenson here, author of the Throne series, and I have a massive used book haul for you today. I found so many things. I will admit, I did find some Goosebumps in here, but that is going to go in my Goosebumps Quest for the 62 number 4 video, so that is coming very soon. Because I've got a nice little stack of Goosebumps books that I've collected, and I've read a ton of Goosebumps books recently. So let's dive right into this whole haul. There is so much to go over. Let's just go for it. So starting off, I don't even know where to start. Like looking at, there's like 5 piles of books. I'm not even kidding. So let's start off with the Berenstain Bears. I got the Berenstain Bears and the New Girl in Town. This one is one of the like romance stories of Berenstain Bears big chapter books. These are books that are not like the little picture books. They have a lot of pictures in them, but they are chapter books, usually like 100 pages long or so. Some of them don't age very well. So we'll see how this one does. Next up, I found a series I'd never heard of before. Now, I am a Nancy Drew fan, but I've never seen these before. I know there's been tons of different series of Nancy Drew, but this was a new one for me. So I found 3 books in the Nancy Drew Notebook series. So the first one I got was number 16, which is The Ski Slope Mystery by Carolyn Keene, of course. And then I got book number 22, The Clue in the Glue. All of these look like they came out in the 90s, so they have that great like kind of 90s style cover. They're just a lot of fun. And then I also got number 23, Alien in the Classroom. Is the teacher a creature from outer space? So typical, but this is great. This is not the only teacher as an alien book on this list either. There's a couple more that are coming soon. And then I found a few other kind of interesting, some standalones and one in a series. So let's check these out. The first one is by Lou Kasim, and that is The Treasures of Witch Hat Mountain. Now, this one is about a girl who's like searching for treasure in the mountain, but someone else is on the mountain searching for treasure too. And it seems kind of spooky, so we'll see what happens. This could be kind of an interesting one. And then this is a series I don't think I've heard of before. It's book number 6 in the Cyber Zone series, Visitor from the Beyond. So this one is by SF Black. Beware of this house guest. So this one looks highly entertaining to me. It could be interesting. I've never heard of this series. I think this is the last book in the series. There was only 6 books. They're all kind of like spooky books, kind of like the Goosebumps style. So we'll have to check it out. I also have a huge stack of Bailey School Kid books. I found a ton more. So these were all like 5 cents, 10 cents each at the used bookstore. So I thought, all right, I'm going to grab them. So here we go. Number 5, Ghosts Don't Eat Potato Chips. Number 11, Skeletons Don't Play Tubas. Number 18, Martians Don't Take Temperatures. Number 19, Gargoyles Don't Drive School Buses. Number 28, Unicorns Don't Give Sleigh Rides. They're so definitive about these different creatures. Number 32, Phantoms Don't Drive Sports Cars. Number 35, Trolls Don't Ride Roller Coasters. Number 36, Wolfmen Don't Hula Dance. Number 46, Sea Serpents Don't Juggle Water Balloons. I don't even know what's going on in this. Number 50, The Abominable Snowman Doesn't Roast Marshmallows. And then this one is a super special. It is super special number 4, Mrs. Jeepers in Outer Space. So this one should be fun. I actually recently read the very first book of these, Vampires Don't Wear Polka Dots, and I really enjoyed these books. They were a lot of fun. They're such quick reads, but they're really fun reads. So I'm excited to get to these Mrs. Jeepers books, the specials that are all about the teacher and the kids and all the different things that happen to them. So we'll see what happens. And then I also found another Star Wars Young Jedi Knights book, and this one is Jedi Under Siege, which I believe is book number 6 in this series by Kevin J. Anderson and Rebecca Moesta, who are sci-fi royalty. And this series, if you have not read it, the Young Jedi Knights series, I've read this entire series. I love it. I read the whole series as a teenager in high school, and I think as a middle schooler I read some of them, but I really loved them, and I didn't own them all. My brother owned some, I owned some, we got some from the library, so it was kind of like a trading back and forth on which books I was reading at the time. So I'm collecting them now, and this is book number 6. And then I have a whole stack of Murder, She Wrote books. Now, I do have the numbers written down of what each one is, but I'm not going to go through it now because I don't remember the numbers of each specific one of these Murder, She Wrote books, but I am going to go through the whole list. So there's quite a few here, so here we go. The first one is Murder at the Powderhorn Ranch. Coffee, tea, or murder? This one is called The Murder of 12, which looks like a Christmassy one, so I might save this one for winter Christmas time. This one is called Murder in Season, Debonair in Death, Province, To Die For. I don't know, but it's To Die For. Murder on Parade. And then the last one I got, and this is the newest one, I believe, is Murder in Red. So this one is where they've switched now to another author, John Land, from Donald Bain, who was the co-writer with Jessica Fletcher of these Murder, She Wrote novels. I also found a very interesting old Christian fantasy series from the 80s. Now, I have been discovering these Christian fantasy series, and so many of them I've never heard of before, and I'm just discovering them, and they're super interesting. I am fascinated by these because I think Christian fantasy is a really interesting genre that has had a lot of different places that it's gone, but also a lot of places it's never gone as far as fantasy goes. So I'm always intrigued when I find another fantasy series that I've never heard of before. This one is published by IVP, or InterVarsity Press, back in the day. They don't really... IVP still exists today, but the publisher doesn't really publish fiction anymore. They mainly do nonfiction books. So this is kind of an interesting thing where they were in this stage and time of publishing fiction for young adults and middle grade students. So this is in the Spirit Flyer series, and these are all pretty pristine condition for these 80s books. So the first one is The Magic Bicycle by John Bybee, I believe. Bybee? I think Bybee. So The Magic Bicycle. And then book number 2 is The Toy Campaign. Book number 3, The Only Game in Town. And then this one looks real creepy, and I kind of want to read through the series so I can get to this one for Halloween. It's number 4, Bicycle Hills. And the tagline is How One Halloween Almost Got Out of Hand. I don't even know. I want to read the back of this. Uncle Bunky. I can't. Uncle Bunky the Clown had every kid in Centerville buzzing. A new amusement park had opened just outside of town, Bicycle Hills. There were all kinds of games for anyone who wanted to have fun on a bike. There were other games too, like Caves and Cobras, games the children weren't supposed to tell their parents about. But as Halloween approached, children and adults began to wonder if the fun is getting out of hand. Once again, John Bybee, or Bibby, spins a fascinating tale as the magic of the Spirit Flyer bicycles confronts mysterious forces trying to take over Centerville. I have no idea. This sounds so interesting, but Uncle Bunky the Clown, can't wait to read this. So next up, I've got a whole bunch of Animorphs books, which I still blame Zach from Shady Side Library for this. I don't know why I'm collecting these, but I am. Here we are, and we're doing it. So I got number 11, The Forgotten. Number 15, The Escape, which sounds kind of cool. I actually really like the hammerhead shark. That's kind of awesome. And then number 16, The Warning. Number 22, The Solution. Number 23, The Pretender. And then number 27, The Exposed. Number 28, The Experiment. And then jumping all the way to number 44, The Unexpected. And then this was so funny. I found Megamorphs number 1. So this one, I don't really know what makes it a Megamorphs, if it's just that it's longer than the regular Animorphs books. Oh, it has a free Animorphs decal inside. I wonder if that's still there. Probably not. It's probably gone. Those things are always gone already. I actually don't know what makes this a Megamorphs. What was so funny about this is when I was at the checkout counter, the person that was checking out all the books and stuff and ringing them up looked at the book cover and showed it to their coworker and was like, choose your character. It was like bobbing back and forth with this book. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. And then I also found another Apple Chillers, which I so love these. I don't know what about them. I just love something about them. But this is The Magnificent Mummy Maker by Elvira Woodruff. So this one's another mummy book. I'm probably not going to read this one anytime soon because I'm a little mummied out because I have been reading all the Goosebumps mummy books and I've read a lot of mummy stories lately. So I'll probably wait on this one for a little bit. But this one does look interesting. I can't wait to read it. And then I picked up Hardy Boys number 59, Night of the Werewolf. Because this one, I don't know, this one like kind of spoke to me. I thought it looked kind of interesting. I don't usually pick these up, but I pick them up if they're like kind of interesting ones like these, like werewolves or mummies, things like that. And then this one is an interesting one. I am super curious to read it. It has like a boarding school vibe, which I know going into it if you've watched my Beacon Hills review. But I know going into that. And it's about like an inventor. And it's called Leo, Inventor Extraordinaire by Luke Cunningham. So it's like an interesting little hardback that's like an interesting size. Like kind of, I don't know, it's fascinating to me. It sounds kind of interesting. It's like a school for inventors who like are doing all these wild inventions and things. So it sounds interesting. I'll have to check it out. And then this one just looks so funny and 80s and so great. It is called Rosie's Rock and Roll Riot. I just loved the cover art on this and I was like, oh, I gotta grab that. It was 5 cents, people. 5 cents. So I thought, all right, I'm just gonna do it. It looks entertaining. And then there's more because there's so many books I got on this book haul. So this is, I've been looking for this edition of this book. This is the pocket-sized edition of Bruce Koval's My Teacher is an Alien. I really love these pocket-sized books, and this was, I've wanted to get this book for a while because I have some other Bruce Koval books. I really like Bruce Koval. And so, but I wanted this pocketbook edition because I really like the cover style, and I finally found it, and it was 25 cents. So I had to go for it. And then this one was actually right by that book, and it looked kind of interesting. It's a minstrel book from the 90s, and it's called The Chimney Witches. And this is by Victoria Whitehead, and I don't know, it just like kind of looked intriguing. It's that same kind of pocket size and just kind of looks fun, like a great Halloween read. So we'll have to read and find out. And then my mom actually sent me 2 Fear Street books that she read. So she has been reading a bunch of Fear Street books and she found a couple that more that she liked. So she sent them to me. She usually sends them to me after she's done reading them. So she sent me The Dare, which this one I guess was really good. My brother, I think, read this too and really liked it. And then also they sent me College Weekend, which I think my brother read this one too, and my mom read this one and really liked it. They said this one was really suspenseful. So I can't wait to read this one. I think it sounds really good. And then, okay, I am so confused by Young Indiana Jones. There are so many series in this series, and there's tons of them, and I do not understand it all. I need like a spreadsheet of all these different things because there's so many different ones. So this is the pocketbook size that they put out, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Now this one, it says it's book 1, The Mata Hari Affair by James Luceno, but everywhere I look online says this is book number 9. So I am all kinds of confused about this series. This is one of the ones I think is a teleplay kind of or novelization of the teleplay from the TV show. But I'm not exactly sure. And I don't know why this says it's book 1, but online everywhere it says it's book 9. And there are other covers that say it is book 9. So I am just confused. If anyone knows anything about Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, please put it in the comments because I would love your help in understanding this series and where it is and where it's going. And then I picked this up because I had heard some people talking about L.J. Smith, and I thought, well, that looks kind of interesting. So I picked up L.J. Smith's The Dark Visions, Book 2, The Possessed. So it looks kind of like a good, fun, spooky book. So I thought I would pick it up. Some people have said they really like L.J. Smith's other work, so I'll give it a try. Obviously, I'm going to wait until I find book 1, but, you know. And then I found some Christopher Pike books. These are the first Christopher Pike books aside from Spooksville that I found in the wild. Usually I don't find any Christopher Pike books, but I found 5 of them. So these are the ones I got. Now I know some of these are like newer covers than other ones, but some of them are more the retro covers, which I really like. So this one is Monster, and then this one is The Wicked Heart, which this one is that old school style cover. I'm super excited to read these. I've never read any of the young adult Christopher Pike books. I've heard they're pretty good from people who've read them, so I'm intrigued. And then this one I'll have to wait on because it's Remember Me 3, The Last Story. So I have no idea what it's about. I'm obviously gonna have to find the other 2 before I read this one, but I'll definitely give it a read. And then I found The Last Vampire, as well as, and this one's cover's a little torn, but I found The Last Vampire 3, Red Dice. And the cover here is a little bit torn on that spot right there, which is a bummer, but it is what it is. But this one was it was like $1. So I thought, well, $1, I'm gonna go for it. So that one, it looks kind of interesting. I'm curious what these are about. So that is all the books I found in the last book haul that I got, used books. All of this was like, all these books, I think the most expensive book was $4.50 because I love used book shopping. It's a lot of fun. So these are all the books I found. I hope you enjoyed some. If there's any here that you read that you love, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know which ones to bump up on my list to read. And until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye.